For a lot of folks, the mac and cheese debate isn't necessarily about the mac and cheese. It goes deeper than using a roux or even using an egg. And I feel like for a lot of them, they are not able to express their true reason for being upset or even uncomfortable with the idea of this lady making this mac and cheese. And I want us to be honest. So let's talk about it.
Y'all already know what time it is. I got the black V-neck on.
What is going on, you all? The great mac and cheese wars have started, and I don't know who is going to be left standing. It's probably going to be that cornbread style mac and cheese that y'all love so much, but I ain't going to hold y'all, but we got to talk about this great mac and cheese war that is happening online that started on TikTok, but has spilled its way over to Twitter. And it has gotten worse and worse and worse. So let's get up to speed for those who are kind of not understanding what's going on. So there is this chef by the name of Tini, and she goes by Chef Tini. She shares her Thanksgiving recipes each and every year, and she reposted her recipe for mac and cheese. And I actually tried this mac and cheese recipe. I actually like it. I love me some pasta and I love me some cheese. So I tried it. I have tried multiple recipes of mac and cheese. My family doesn't make mac and cheese like that for Thanksgiving. My grandmama did, but she stopped. My mother does not make that. She makes dressing, and baby, it hits each and every time. So mac and cheese has never been one of those things that like was a part of my Thanksgiving like that. But for a lot of folks, it is serious. Like, I understood how serious it was for a lot of Black folks come Thanksgiving. Like, it's a running joke about who is going to be making this, who's going to be making that. Like, even Justin, the King of Reeds, has an annual video that I do called Thanksgiving Struggle Plates, where I talk about the plates that y'all submit, because it ain't me. Y'all submit these plates to me and I drag them. And a lot of times I have seen some mac and cheese looking dry and looking disgusting. It's a running joke about some of these mac and cheese dishes that y'all like so much that y'all say it's supposed to be this way, and they look very dry and folks don't like them. So I think what is happening, there's a lot of things happening with this conversation, to be honest. I think that obviously, to be honest, starting from the top, whiteness. Like, people are uncomfortable with this idea of this white woman making this dish and going viral for it. People are not feeling that. And also add in that she has a Black husband now because she recently just got married. Now, I like Chef Tini. I enjoy her. Her recipe was really good. I have tried some of her other dishes and stuff. And, you know, she's a good cook. She's not the only TikTok chef that I follow. Also, you got Stovetop Kisses, who I love. Baby, sopped up, that's my girl too. I follow her mac and cheese recipe that she got from her mother, or I think grandmother. And I liked her recipe too, but I wanted to try something different. And I like that Tini, she didn't want to use the traditional pasta that people use for the macaroni and cheese. And I said, okay, I've never heard of this. So I tried it and I liked it. Now, people were not feeling it. Folks were seeing it go viral because it got a lot of views. Like, it got tons of views. And went viral on both platforms, Twitter as well as TikTok. And you had a lot of folks start to respond to it, and they were saying, hey, like, I thought that we did the traditional mac and cheese, where this is not mac and cheese. Like, that's, you know, mac and soup. Like, it's too soupy, it's too wet, it's this and that. Like, everybody became a certified chef. What's hilarious, as everybody became a chef, there's one person who is not only a chef, but she's been on a reality show with one of the most famous chefs in the world. Now, y'all, I feel a certain type of way. And for those who've been following me, y'all know what that is. I don't ever want to defend a white woman. I'm so sorry. I'm not going to be using any of my what's name to defend a white woman who is protected ultimately by whiteness. I think for a lot of folks, there is a racial component to this. Like, you cannot remove race from it at all. Even going so far back that this recipe for mac and cheese was brought over by a enslaved Black person. An enslaved Black person brought this recipe over from Europe, and his name was James Hemings. This black person, this enslaved black person, brought this recipe over by learning it from like a European chef. Like he learned it there, and Thomas Jefferson wanted it, and he made it for him. That is the history, a little bit of it. And I feel like, you know, black folks are in a very particular time right now. This recipe happening and going viral around the time of the election and how people are feeling about whiteness itself and white women, you know, over and over again, reminding us that they're going to, you know, protect their own interests and themselves. Not saying that Chef Tini voted for Trump. Not saying that she voted for Harris either, because I don't know who she voted for. But she is a white woman, and knowing the history around white women, you know, this is what we get. And I feel like that she is experiencing all of the frustrations of like black folks wrapped up into this. And I'm not saying that black people are wrong to be upset or feel some type of way. What I'm asking black folks to do is to find the language to describe what you are feeling. Because it's not about the mac and cheese. Like, folks were getting real upset about the mac and cheese dish. Like, this is how you do it. And that's going to happen. When you get the conversations about food, folks going to show out. Like, black folks feel the need to do things. And that's not our fault. That is in response of whiteness, colonialism, all of the things, anti-blackness. Black folks feel this need to overperform because of dealing with anti-blackness. The same way you hear black folks talk about how much they wash their legs, their feet, and like how they take a shower, how clean we are. Like that has been used against us. Even there were things that was advertised specifically to black folks to make us purchase stuff because we wanted to be cleaner. Not that we actually needed them, but we wanted to overperform and, you know, make it seem as though we were not dirty because of anti-blackness, because of blackness being associated with dirtiness. So I feel like the cooking and the seasoning stuff, we have done that as well, where, oh, we can cook, y'all don't season y'all food, Like, even I have been a part of it, like, oh, you know, y'all ain't seasoning food, you ain't seasoning food, It's just like, cook your food how you want to. Cook your food how you want to. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, if you like this, enjoy it. There are some things that I like that other folks don't like. I love raw sushi, even though I seen that video of Keith Lee. But I don't go to certain places and get no raw sushi, but I will eat some raw sushi. Honestly, if you pay attention to a lot of the food that we get, a lot of the processed food we get, a lot of that stuff had bugs in it. I get the raw stuff, I get how people feel about it, but I like medium rare steaks. I haven't had a medium well or well done steak in so long. Like, I just won't eat it. It doesn't taste good to me at all. There's some black folks who don't like pork. I'm just now finding out that Jiffy Mix has pork in it. So I'm not a person that is against things that people like or do not like. What I don't like is to see folks make people feel bad about what they enjoy as far as food. You had this conversation in response to Chef Tini. Now you got folks having defend that they like this style of mac and cheese, and it turned into like this black or white situation where this is the only black mac and cheese. That mac and cheese that she making is white folks mac and cheese. That is not baked mac and cheese. That's not that. And I'm like, no, like when I go to certain restaurants and they serve mac and cheese, I get mac and cheese that is toasted at the top that has a crust, but it's gooey at the bottom. I mean, cooking is very scientific. Like, I'm learning that as a person who is getting better at cooking and being precise on the things I cook. I'm learning that, oh my gosh, like it's science to this. Even understanding the curdling of cheese and how to make certain dishes more delicious, like the flavor, and being intentional about where the flavor goes. Like, I made a pasta, not a chicken Alfredo, but I made a pasta the other day, and just like understanding the like deglazing and, you know, when to use certain like things, when to add the onions in, when to add the garlic in to bring out the flavor, how much salt to use, what salt works for this dish. Like, there's certain salt that's better for stuff that has more water content. Like, there's like, I've been introduced to kosher salt, other salts for baking, and understanding that, you know, the butter that I love, Irish butter, I love Irish butter. You don't need to use that if you're baking, because at a certain temperature, it doesn't really matter. Like, that stuff is going anyway. So I'm a person that loves quote unquote black food, and I love some white folks food. Like, I ain't gonna hold you. Like, my neighbor, she can bake her ass off. Like, white folks, when it comes to baking, they gonna eat down. Like, croissants, all that, the bacon that they be eating down. I love black folk stuff. I love pecan pies. Did I say pecan? The pecan. I love pecan pies. I love apple pies. I love sweet potato pies. I love peach cobbler. There's some black dish I just love down. And there's some white dishes. Like, I remember going to this, I was cool with this white nurse at one point, and she had green bean casserole for Thanksgiving, and it was amazing. I was like, oh, wow. Like, there are certain things that I will try. And I don't think it makes me black or white. It just makes me a person that's willing to explore and not say that this dish is better than this dish. I think that is what colonialism, white supremacy has done, that white folks' food is supposed to be higher. It's supposed to be more, you know, the hierarchy of it all. Like, we don't eat that. And now you see white people starting to love oxtails. The price of oxtails have went up. Like, that was a dish that, you know, white folks were eating. Like, this was slops. I like chitlins. Y'all be dragging folks for eating chitlins too. I love me some chitlins. I ain't had some in a minute, but baby, I will eat them down. I'm an eater when it comes to some chitlins. Both kind. Let me calm down. But yes, like, in response to Chef Tini, you have folks like responding and like dragging the like folks who enjoyed that and were just saying that that's not traditional, that's not how it's supposed to be. It was a lot of racial stuff behind it because it was a white woman making this like well-known dish. And Chef Tini, again, her being in a relationship with a black man, and the way that Chef Tini speaks, the way she uses certain like black language in her conversations, and even her, because she did one, she talking about some, that's that wet Western. White women do not talk like that. That is a lot of black lingo and all the others that WAP. Like, black folks talk like that. So I'm not saying that Chef Tini is trying to be a black woman or whatever, but I get the response to black women seeing this white woman being praised for something that they do. That's what it is. And I think tensions are very high because we are post-election. We are headed towards another Trump presidency, and people are upset. And I'm not telling, like, honestly, I'm gonna have to do a TikTok about it. I don't like some of the conversations on TikTok of how people are talking. Like, you got a lot of white women feeling comfortable in my TikTok, like talking crazy and like, oh, yeah, you have an issue with you black. They have an issue because she white. They have an issue white. And I'm like, girl, yeah. I understand why black folks have an issue with her, because she is a white woman who is married to a black man now. Congratulations on her marriage. She is a white woman that is married to a black man. She is a white woman using black lingo, and she just so happened to go viral for making macaroni and cheese, when black women have been doing this and do not get those same like reactions. Like, loves Stovetop Kisses. I think she's a brilliant chef that has a great personality, but Stovetop Kisses compared to someone like a Tini will get more, like, not only just reactions, but also more visibility because of whiteness. People are going to watch this before they watch Stovetop Kisses. They're not going to watch a black woman like cook stuff like that. But a white woman cooking it and kind of making it in a palatable way with, and I'm not saying she's doing it intentional, but her being white is just enough for white women to feel comfortable to now like cook this stuff. Like, they feel comfortable, which puts Tini in a situation where she's getting brand deals, because even in the comment section, she had, you know, these brands commenting under it. Not saying that does not happen with Stovetop Kisses or other black chefs. It is harder for them to get that type of reaction because we have to be honest. And there is whole articles that have been discussed about how hard it is for black influencers to make the same amount of money as a white influencer. Brands will offer them a higher payout for the same thing that I will be doing. I've seen it. It happens a lot. That's why you had a lot of brands and stuff respond to like, hey, we got to support the black influencers, the black creators and all the other stuff. That's why you had the Black Creator Fund started by YouTube, which I benefited from, because there was this response like, hey, we do a lot of stuff and a lot of things that we do are used, but we don't get the same visibility. A lot of the culture on TikTok is black culture. There's even an article that just came out about parents not understanding Generation Z's language. And it's not Gen Z's language. It is black language. It is African American vernacular English. Like, that is what Gen Z is using in all the TikToks and all the things. That's what they're using. And now it's become mainstream. But we've seen the same thing happen with black queer ballroom culture and how it has been used on a lot of these shows and things. And black queer folks have not benefited from it other than just being the purse or being invited to Nene Leakes Gays and Girls Party.
So now why am I in it? And you could have did it. See how I get wrong because you never apologized.
I think Chef Tini is doing a good thing. I think Chef Tini giving these recipes out for folks who might not have been close to their parents or like grandparents or whatever, do not have these recipes. We have to also understand, yeah, we are losing recipes. We have to accept that the world is changing. People do not have time to cook as much. Like, got a new generation like of parents who don't have time to cook these meals like this. They do not do them as much. Our families have been separated. Our families are battling constant anti-blackness, like capitalism 24/7. And we are seeing the result of that. So we're not intentionally losing recipes. They're being taken from us. And we don't even realize it. So to see a Chef Tini go famous and go viral for this mac and cheese isn't about it being soupy, isn't about it being this and that. Is that a white person is able to make a dish that black folks are known to make and go viral from it. You saw white people and black people engaging in Chef Tini's recipe. When you go to black chefs that are famous online, you do not see the same demographic of white people and black people. But that goes to show you what is accepted and what is not accepted. For me, I like that style of mac and cheese. I like the quote unquote soupy mac and cheese. I don't like the cornbread, Walmart sheet cake mac and cheese. I don't care how you make it. I like it to be that toast on the top and then gooey at the bottom. I like it to, y'all know how I feel. Like, I like it to be wok. That's wok mac and cheese is what I like. But you know, it's nothing against folks who like that style of mac and cheese. You like what you like and you find what you enjoy and you stick with it. But I do appreciate like people like Tini and other like chefs that are on social media sharing recipes and things for folks who do not know how to cook. You have a new generation of people who are now hosting Thanksgiving dinner, like whole families and things. We have to realize that. And there's nothing wrong with folks learning new things. I think what is really happening is that the response to who is the person who made the mac and cheese and how they are getting like a lot of attention around it, and added with the post-election. You see the response to in the club, we all fam. And no, do you know them? No, like you see that. So people are feeling a type of way about it. And I think that unfortunately Chef Tini is on the receiving end of that because of that. But I do not think that black women are wrong to be upset, or black folks, period. And it's not just black women, but that's a lot of the folks who I was seeing making the TikToks and stuff. But also shout out to Juicy, who has reminded me and made me think about how the algorithm is used against us and how it keeps bombarding us with things to make us rage bait. And it's not just Tini, but it's just the algorithm wants us to constantly be online and comment and respond. And we're also like dealing with that. So it's a lot of things. And again, it's just not the mac and cheese, but the deeper things and the meaning around the mac and cheese and who is the person who is getting famous from making it.